Today in the studio, we have a special guest joining us, longtime retired NFL veteran and potential Gold Jacket recipient, Jeremy Maclin. How are we doing today, J-Mac?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on. Hey, that gold jacket comment is I admire it, but I'm not getting the gold jacket.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've heard some rumors, seen some things. Um,
2014 season was gold jacket worthy.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's good time. It was probably my best season for sure. So
Glad to hear that you're keeping safe, your family's healthy, and everything's going well. I just want to start off by getting into some things that some people might not know you as well for. Um, and that is J-Mac has been very involved off the field and since his time retiring. He has started the Jeremy Maclin Gives Back Foundation, or J-Mac Gives Back, which targets kids that are living in alternative living situations. And he is also very involved in the 2K and Madden communities. Every year he hosts hosts a tournament with the help of Jackson Potts, who is a 2K League player for the Brooklyn Nets, where they give the winners a pair of Nikes. Each player gets a pair of Nikes, and they also get a cash prize. I just want to give Jeremy Maclin a second just to go over and talk about what he does off the field with his organization.
yeah, man. So I started a foundation, probably like 7 years ago, and basically it was just to help kids that come from the place that I come from, and you know, like you said, it's to help kids in alternative living situations, whether it be single family homes, whether it be kids that are raised by grandparents, foster children, just families who don't have aren't fortunate enough to have that type of income come in that, sometimes make things a little tough, a little hard to kind of get by sometimes. So that's the reason why I launched it. I grew up with a single mom. My father was never in the picture. So that's kind of the meat behind it all. And as far as 2K and Madden, man, I just enjoy playing the game. Now I've played Xbox for quite some time now. 2K and Madden are my favorite games, and as kind of the years went on, I picked up, met a lot of people online, and I got a chance to, do some stuff at the 2K League last year, playing in like a celebrity tournament and stuff. And I was like, what better way to kind of give back to that community and to host a tournament every year. So I've done a few of those now, and now I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm kind of, just staying safe and, just praying that, eventually we get past this COVID thing.
I love hearing about influential people like you and people that have had great success in their time in the league, giving back to their community and helping out, especially when you came from it, you know what it's like, and just giving back to those people. I'm sure they're so grateful for what you do for them. Now to go ahead and jump into some football talk. Jeremy Maclin has a very storied career. He's been very successful in the league. He played on 3 teams in his 9 seasons in the NFL. He made it to the playoffs in 4 out of those 9 seasons and broke the Eagles' receiving yards record in a playoff game with 146 yards. The first question we have for you, football wise, is I want to talk about something that I think you told Luke on Xbox last year, which Rug here is a Ravens fan. So this caused a little tension in our group chat. But it started with you told Luke about halfway through the season that you didn't think the Ravens were going to win a playoff game. We want to know why you said that and what do you think their chances are this year?
Oh man. Uh it's not the fact that I didn't think they were capable of it. I kind of saw the landscape of the AFC, and I kind of saw how things were kind of falling in line. And the one thing about beating that type of Baltimore team is being able to run the football. So once I saw that they got matched up with Tennessee, I knew that was going to be a tough matchup for them. That being said, I think the Ravens and the Chiefs are going to be the head guys in the AFC for quite some time. They got two of the best young players in the league right now, and probably going to have two of the best players ever to play this game, in Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes. So I think we can see I think we can look forward to seeing a lot of pretty good matchups between those two organizations. And I'm always rooting. I'm always rooting for the teams that I played for. So I'm a Philly guy. I played for Kansas City. That's my home. That's my home state team that I played for. And then I played for Ravens. I was grateful enough to go there and play. So anytime those three teams are playing, I'm always rooting for them. But I think in the AFC, I think the Ravens and Chiefs would definitely be the head runners in that conference for quite some time.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. It's almost like the modern day NFL version of Brady Manning, more mobile quarterbacks, more versatile quarterbacks. But I want to get back to when you predicted the Ravens wouldn't win a game. Was it more of an offhanded prediction, or did you just think they were kind of running high, and then maybe were playing a team like Tennessee that caught lightning in a bottle?
I just think they were kind of running high, man. I think they were kind of running high. I think that like I said, kind of how things started shaping out. I know they beat up on the Houston pretty good. I know Houston was a team possibly that they could play as well. And I don't know if you guys know this, but anytime and some of you guys played sports, right? Some of you guys played sports in college as well, but it's hard to beat a team twice, right? So I don't think that outcome would be the same thing if they had to play Houston again. So, but like I said, man, I think that was Lamar got a whole year under his belt starting. He was able to accomplish a lot of good things. Personally in his career, I think the next step for him is now winning that big game, winning in the playoffs, and ultimately getting his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you think that Coach Harbaugh made any mistakes when resting guys week 17? Do you think he made any mistakes in that playoff game, deviating from the run game, or do you think it was kind of just a fluky game where Tennessee got up early and just jammed Derrick Henry down our throats and just kind of ran the clock out?
I think Tennessee was hot, man. I think they were a hot team, and I think that you guys just caught them at the wrong time. It's tough to say whether or not you should rest guys week 17 or not. I know Belichick doesn't like to do it. They've had a first round bye so many times, and I know that they always kind of played their starters in that last game. I think it's a judgment call, but I do think it's tough to not play when you've been playing, and then all of a sudden you don't play literally a football game for 21 days essentially when you rest
Yeah,
the team. So.
just works both ways, I guess.
Hey, J Mac. I'm a big Eagles fan, so first of all, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of you. I started really getting the Eagles when you joined them. You mentioned Kansas City a second ago. Obviously, you know Andy Reid very well, playing 6 of your 9 seasons under him. How happy were you for him to finally get that ring? And where do you rank him among coaches in the league right
I
now?
was extremely happy for him, man. When they won it, the first thing that came to my mind was about time. He's been so close, so many times. He's had a bunch of great teams. I think he was one of the winningest coaches ever without having a Super Bowl victory or something like that. So I was just so happy for him, happy for his family, happy for really his legacy. So for me, he was already a top 5 coach ever to coach the game of football. But now that getting that Super Bowl under his belt, I think kind of cements him up there with some of the all time greats that we know of. But to for that team to win it, and then previously before that for the Eagles to win it, I've been riding high for quite some time now. I got a lot of friends on both of those teams.
Speaking of the Eagles, I hear like David is. I'm a lifelong Eagles fan. I think the first draft I ever watched was the draft that you got drafted in. I think I probably watched every game you played in Philly. With that being said, can you speak to what it was like to play in the city of Philadelphia for such a long time and the unique, you might say, atmosphere that might be?
Yeah, best sports city in the world. I don't it doesn't get better than that, man. The fans, you appreciate all the boos, you appreciate all the cheers, you appreciate all the love, you appreciate all the hate. They're so passionate. Anytime you boo Santa Claus, you know that you got some stuff going on there. Yeah, man, if you want to play for one city, right? Not even a team, just you want to go to one city and play sports. It's the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, I just what do you think it is about Andy Reid's offense that makes it so electrifying or just effective? Are there anything unique in his scheme or his play calling? Like, what do you think about his offense, just his strengths as a coach that allows his offense to be consistently so good?
Well, I think it's his ability to like innovate. You know what I mean? I think he's doing that extremely well. I think he's mixing a lot of the new school concepts with a lot of the old school concepts. It's still a base West Coast offense, but he's adding a lot of new flair to it. Right? You got a lot of jet sweeps. You got a lot of motions. You got a lot of different things that you could do to create mismatches. And right now, it doesn't hurt when you have arguably the best tight end in the league. You got the fastest player in the league, right?
Yeah.
You have a generational quarterback, probably somebody that we won't see due to some of the things that he's doing ever again. So that also helps too. But and you got Doug Peterson who was with him, great offensive mind. Matt Nagy, great offensive mind. So all those guys collectively bringing their brains together, and they're just creating different ways to get those speedsters in space and then you see kind of the results on the field.
I brought that up to David the other day. If you were to watch any of Andy Reid's offense, like back when you played in Philadelphia and versus the Kansas City offense today, they look very, very different. I think that just speaks of how innovative Coach Andy Reid is.
Absolutely, you got to change with the times, man. I think that that's what the good coaches do. That's what the good organizations do. You got to change with the times, man. And I think that he's done a good job in that. And it's very, you look at D-Jack, you look at Tyreek, you look at me, you look at McCole, you look at there's a lot of similarities, right? But I think that just kind of the ability to take the playbook to the next level has been the key for them. And like I can't say this enough. Patrick Mahomes, like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to take you back to your college days a little bit. I want to ask a question. Back in your playing days at Mizzou, because we are affiliated with Dorm Room Sports, which is based on different college level listeners and what they like. So I want to ask, what was your favorite atmosphere in college to play in, and what was your favorite memory playing in college?
Wow, my favorite atmosphere was definitely just playing at home. In front of our home crowd. We had some historic years there when I was there. We were number 1 in the country my redshirt freshman year, and we finished number 4 in the country that year. And we were tied at 14-14 going into halftime against Oklahoma to go to the national championship. But I think playing in front of that home crowd, we got to play Nebraska at home. It was like 70-something thousand people there. They had to stop letting people in the game. It was a pretty cool sight, man. But I would say that's probably my favorite atmosphere. And then my favorite moment was beating KU in Arrowhead. That was pretty cool. I think we were number 4 and they were number 2, or vice versa, or something like that. And we beat them, our rival, to go to number 1 in the country. Now
that I got your favorite on the field moment, give me your throw it back to college a little bit. What was your best off the field moment? I'm not talking football.
I don't know if I can share that online, bro. Like I got.
I think you can. I trust me. This is a very unedited, unfiltered podcast.
He's a family man now. He can't be telling those stories.
Oh man. No, man, you know what, dude? Like, so we had where I lived at. We had it was called Copper Beach, and 4 guys lived in one, and then 4 guys lived in the other one next door, and we shared a balcony. So essentially, there was 8 guys living in this, in this townhouse, and we would have parties and all that good stuff, and we were kind of the house that everybody came to. So we had some good times, man.
Anyone jump off the balcony?
What'd you say?
Anyone jump off the balcony?
Oh, we've had a few of that too, definitely. Sledding, jumping on the sleds behind, all that good stuff, man.
How was Mizzou? Was Mizzou a fun time?
Yeah. I always tell people, man, if I can go back to one time in my life, it'd be back to Mizzou.
What do you think? I think what's cool too is you were just amazing as a return man at Missouri. Like, what are some of the challenges and unique skills that come with handling those duties?
You just gotta let your instincts take over. People always say, what's the difference between kick returning and punt returning? Punt return, you could, if you make one guy miss, you got a good chance of going all the way. Kick return, you need a few more different things to kind of happen. That's why I always preferred punt return over kick return, because a guy can miss his block, I can make that guy miss, and I can go, 90 yards to the house. A kick return is a little different, but it was just, for me, it was just another way for me to touch the football. I was a competitive guy. I always wanted to touch the football. I always wanted to, make plays for my team. So any way I could touch the football, I was always all for it.
Yeah, as a follow-up, I kind of wanted to touch on the NFL is kind of getting away from kick returns, and what do you think about that? Do you think that's good for the game, or do you think it's always a part of the game and they should keep it?
I think it's good. I mean, anytime there's some things that are for safety, I'm always for it. I think, there used to be unlimited wedges, right? So that means that when you kick the ball off, the guys that block right in front of the kick returner, so not the front line guys, but they used to put like 4 or 5 big linemen there, right? So they ended up changing that rule so you're going to have 2 guys there. Then they end up moving the kickoff up, so now guys are kicking the ball at the end zone. And I think it's all for safety measures. I think that's been pretty successful, but now I think that they're trying to come up with new ways to just kind of make the game a little more exciting. That's why you move the extra point back to whatever. I don't even know how far it is now. Now I know they're reviewing some stuff about onside kicks. So I think they just kind of want to make the kicking game a little more exciting, but they also just want to keep the game safe at the same time. I mean, people want to see people throw touchdowns and all that good stuff. So I think they're trying to just add more of that into the game.
So going back to the NFL, big storyline right now is what's going on with Dak's contract. You've had some interesting things that have been said before about what you think around the league. I want to know your take, what you think Dak should take, or what you think Dak should do in this situation.
Oddly enough, man, I haven't been keeping up with really what's going on with Dak stuff. I heard the other day that he got offered $35 a year, I believe. And one thing about me, man, I never count the next man's pockets, right? So that's just never really been anything that I've ever done. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the terminology of the contract. I don't know the terms. I don't know how much money's up front, how much is in the second year, third year. And I think that's kind of where the average fan of football doesn't really understand when it comes to these contract negotiations. They just see the number, they see the amount of years, they see your annual average. But there's a lot more that go into a contract than just those numbers that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about that. Like, did you ever have any unique stipulations or roster bonuses or signing bonuses in your contracts that were kind of just thrown in there? Just things that maybe something a team offered you that just kind of you said, "Whoa, why are we throwing that in there?" Just kind of in some of your contracts over your career.
For me, a lot of mines have kind of been, straightforward. You get incentives in the deals, so it'll be like, for example, it'll be like 50 catches or 800 yards. That's an extra $100,000. Or it'll be 60 catches or 900 yards. That's an extra $100,000. You know what I mean? So they do stuff
It's
like
pretty
that.
reasonable stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Or it'll be like amount of touchdowns or downs played. But it also can go against you. It'll be games missed, and they're taking away some of your money as well. So you got to those contracts can be tricky, man.
So do you get pissed when QBs don't target you? Be like, give me the fucking ball, like I want money. Or...
It depends. In my contract year, I would have been pissed off, but no, for the most part, man, I've always been quiet, kind of a quiet, competitive, humble guy. You know what I mean? I never didn't really make too many scenes, no matter how pissed off I got on the field. That's kind of how I carry myself, man.
Have you ever been a part of a situation where guys were like just feuding in the locker room over? You don't have to name names, but
grown men, a lot of testosterone, right? So what happened?
Yeah,
a lot of different opinions, a lot of different ideas about what should happen, how things should be. I've seen player to player go at it. I've seen player and coach. I've seen coach and coach go at it. You see it all,
Speaking of guys in the locker room, did you have a favorite teammate, a best friend going throughout your years?
A bunch of these guys are a lot of these guys are I'm still cool with. Like me and Fletcher Cox still really good friends. Me and LaShawn McCoy, hell, we play Madden damn near every day together. A bunch of guys I played with at Mizzou, those guys were in my wedding, man. That's the cool thing about football. It is sports in general, right? But I can only talk about football because that's what I played. But you get so many different guys from so many different backgrounds, so many different beliefs, so many different upbringings, right? And you put us all together, and we're all trying to achieve one goal, And that's why you can see a farmer from Nebraska be cool with a guy from LA, or a guy from LA be cool with a guy from New York. You know what I mean? Because football's bringing us together and helping us do those type of things.
Would LaShawn McCoy flood my ass in Madden?
No, he did not. He wasn't in the league yet.
Is he in that league now?
No, I'm in one of his leagues. He's not in our league yet.
Who's in that league? Bunch of NFL guys, or?
I think me, LaShawn, DJ, or the ones. He got some guys he played with at Pitt that are in there.
I do have to ask, going off that last topic, did you have a big role model entering the league or throughout your career that you played with a lot that you'd like to mention or anything like that?
Yeah, I had a bunch of guys that I got a chance to kind of talk to and use as kind of that mentor person. Torrey Holt being one of them. That was kind of cool because I grew up in St. Louis watching The Greatest Show on Turf with Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner. and I got a chance to kind of see those guys, and they're a reason why I decided that football is the way that I wanted to go. I had a chance to play basketball, a chance to play baseball as well, but um, being able to kind of reach out to him and ask him questions. Same with Marshall. Tim Brown was another guy that I talked to a little bit. So I got a good chance to get to know some of those guys, and those guys were very helpful throughout this whole process for me.
Well, as we talked about some of your teammates, I kind of want to talk about the other end. Who are some of your greatest rivals? Who are some of the best corners you went up against in the league?
Best corners. One thing about me, man, I didn't like nobody. All right, so I respect all. I didn't like you. If you weren't on my team, I didn't like you, right? Especially in between the white lines. As far as I don't know. It wasn't really like anybody that I really was like big time rivals with. It was just
You ever beef with anyone?
nah, not really.
No, you're kind of quiet.
Yeah, not really. Nah.
Yeah. Rug, you wanted to say something before?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask the rivals question, but I'll take it another direction too. Obviously, the relationship between the players and the officials is always kind of interesting. Do you remember an official saying something outrageous or stepping out of line or saying something to you? Do you ever have any interesting interactions with an official?
I almost got kicked out. Well, yeah, I did. I got kicked out of a preseason game.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
How'd that come to be?
Because, like I said, I was a little feisty, but I got kicked out of a preseason game in LA against the Rams. They kicked me on out of there, man. Me and one of the guys got into it. I believe it was LaMarcus Joyner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me and him got into it, and they kicked me on out of there.
You get a fine little red slip from the league?
Oh, yeah. Definitely makes you think twice about it for sure. So,
Who's the best NFL? Actually, any pro player. Who's the best pro Madden player you've played against?
myself, probably. No, probably Desmond Southworth.
You're so overrated. Like you're honest. Like, do I need to get Luke in here to take your money again?
Luke is horrendous.
Luke,
Agreed. 100% agree.
didn't you have to Venmo Luke money because you lost?
Luke. So no. First of all, no. I tried to con Luke into playing me for money after I blew the first game on purpose, and he can tell you I did it on purpose.
Oh my god.
But see, now you're making me out to be a bad person. I promise I'm not that bad, man. Promise I'm not that bad.
No, I know you're a good guy. You always respectfully let me quit after you're up 50-3 with your questionably edited players in the franchise. I mean, we already had that. We already had that open debate in the chat. I mean,
yeah,
you represented your case. What's his name came to your aid. No one else did, but it is what it is.
I got you.
We do have a few Ravens fans here, and I don't know if you saw, but Joe Flacco just signed with the Jets. You got some time with him. What do you think about Joe, and is he elite?
I like Joe, man. I like Joe. I think that the year I was there. I think that it was unfortunate because Joe was hurt, and we just never really got on the same page. I thought there was some stuff going on within the organization that wasn't ideal. I thought that, and I never really kind of, I got hurt early in preseason, and I never was able to kind of get my legs back underneath me, man. And it was just a really unfortunate situation. Kind of one of those things that you wish you could have back. I don't regret a lot of things. Really, I don't regret anything. Right? I believe everything happens for a reason. But I would have loved for my time there to be a lot smoother. And kind of pissing me off a little bit that things happened the way they did, because I've always had respect for the Baltimore Ravens organization from afar. It's one of those organizations that, as you can ask any player that plays in the league, that they respect. Because how they do things and how they carry themselves, and and they win. They always win there. So If I could have that back, I'd definitely take that back for sure.
Definitely. Did you have a favorite quarterback to throw you the ball then throughout your career?
Uh,
Somebody just
Probably,
got you the ball more?
yeah, probably Nick Foles, man. Oddly enough, man, him and I, we were able to, I think before he got hurt, in the really good year I had in 2014, I had like 800 yards through 8 games, and him and I were just clicking. We were rolling. I had 8 touchdowns. So that's my guy too. So he's always going to be a favorite of mine for sure.
All right, if you're gonna bring him up, I gotta ask. I know you didn't get a chance to play with Wentz, but Foles and Wentz, what's your opinion on the situation there? Do you think the Eagles handled it right?
I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I would say yes. You know what I mean? You draft Wentz that early to be your franchise quarterback, and that's kind of how you have to go with it. Um, I'm a Foles guy. I'm a big time Foles fan, but I understand why they did what they did, and and you can ask Foles, he can tell you the same thing. That's how this game works.
Do you think he's in a position to win that job and have success in Chicago for this upcoming season?
I do. If you ask me right now, am I taking Foles or Trubisky? I'm taking Foles. 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to get back to what you said about the Ravens, kind of your time that season. What were some of in addition to kind of the injuries, I know you kind of never, like you said, you kind of never fully got comfortable and on your feet. But did you have a good rapport with Joe Flacco? And what were some of the challenges in that offense you think that you faced that might have limited you in your production?
I think, like I said, I think for starters, I think that Joe and I just never really had time together. Like I said, he was hurt, he was banged up a little bit, and I just think that we never really had time to actually get on the same page. So that made things a little tough for us, I would think. I think that offensively, I don't think we really had a identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was tough from a wide receiver standpoint because there's times where you want certain things to happen, a certain plays to be called, and we just never got to it, and it was just tough being a wide receiver that year.
Yeah, would Coach Harbaugh ever veto Marty Morningweg's play calls if they kind of threw too many passes or just went through a part of the game where the offense wasn't clicking, or was he kind of more laissez-faire at the offense, or he'd be more hands off?
It depends. It depends. It depends on what type of ship that you're running, because there's different people that different coaches and different staffs and different people do things differently. So I don't know if he's ever. If a head coach says, "Hey, I want to run the ball here," the OC is going to run the ball, and that's pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no OC that's going to be like, "No, F that. I'm passing the ball." No, you're going to run the football. Head coach told you to run the football. So that's pretty standard.
Who is your most favorite coach to even just talk to, hang out with? I don't know if you have any other relationships with any coaches, but that you didn't play for, one that really stood out when you talked to him post game or something that happened.
Favorite coach. I would probably say Coach Reed. That's like I said, that's him and our relationship. It's deeper than football, man. He's that's my guy. That's one of my favorite human beings.
Do you still talk to him?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah. So that's definitely Coach Reed.
Before we let you go, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on the state of the Washington Redskins. I know Dwayne Haskins has kind of gotten unfair criticism. He's only played 6 games. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on if you think that organization is going in the right direction as a Redskins fan.
You're a Skins fan?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, before you answer that, me and Mark are Skins fans, and Mark...
I hated seeing you twice a year, that's for sure. You and D-Jack, all those years. I was so happy when he came to us.
Mark basically rides Dwayne Haskins, and I don't think he's going to be that great. I want to hear what you got to say about him.
you got to give him time. I mean, you got to give him time. Like you can't judge anybody. He was kind of just thrown into the fire last year, right? There was some. There was Alex started. Was that Alex started the year last year, right? If I remember
No,
correctly, right?
It was
2 years
Keenum, right?
ago. Yeah, Case Keenum
was
started
Keenum.
last year.
Yeah, it was Keenum.
Keenum started last year. Alex started 2 years ago. K started last year. And then afterwards, man, they kind of just threw him in there. It was kind of like, all right, here you go. This is what you're working with. And let's go do it. And it was, I don't know what type of expectations people had last year for him to do anything. Because he didn't take first team reps. It was all brand new to him, So I think you got to give him time before you start to pass judgment on him. I think he can be a good player. I really do.
What do you think is the best rivalry in the NFC East?
Oh, it's Eagles Cowboys.
Eagles
Thank you.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Eagles Cowboys.
Oh,
I think that's a little hard to say because the Eagles
agree.
won their first Super Bowl.
I don't even think it's close.
oh my God, not even close.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close.
Redskins fans living in the 90s.
Who else would you even put in that category? It's Eagles Cowboys. Not even close.
Dallas, Washington. Come on, man. That's the most historic. That's the most historic rivalry in all of football.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the year 2020, man. Like I
The Eagles Giants is second.
Yeah,
It's not
and
even.
They're
The
the
Redskins aren't involved.
The Eagles just won their first Super Bowl since 1960 when the Super Bowl was invented.
Yeah, but we live in a world where it's what have you done for me lately, right?
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, so and I if you ask somebody right now, it's Eagles Cowboys, and I don't even think it's close, right? Now, yeah, you can bring up the Redskins, Cowboys, Thanksgiving traditions, and all that other stuff, but no, it's Eagles Cowboys.
One last question I had for you is if you got a play call in that was designed for you, what was your favorite play to hear in the huddle that you knew this was your chance to go get a touchdown?
Anything that I knew I was getting the ball. Extremely excited.
Were there plays designed that you knew the ball was coming your way no matter what?
Yeah, you got a good feeling of it because you know that you do a lot of studying and you know that okay, when we hop in this formation, the defense does this. If you hop in this formation, the defense does that, right? Mm-hmm. So then you know if that happens and we get this type of look, then I know that it's up to me to win my route because I know the ball's going to come my way.
I do get asked, looking around the league, going into next season, do you have any sleeper teams or sleeper players that you think people need to be on the lookout for that may not have the hype that they will deserve later in the season?
I think the Buffalo Bills will be pretty good next year. I don't know if it's really a sleeper. I think that the Cleveland Browns, if they could ever figure it out, I think that they have the talent to be pretty special.
All the talent in the world, yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I also think that the Arizona Cardinals. I like Kyler. I like some of the additions they did on defense. I like adding D-Hop. I think that they're going to be better this year. I don't know if they'll be quite there yet, but I think they'll be better.
Do you think OBJ gets it together this season? You think he comes out strong?
Yeah, but you know what's crazy, man, is I think we've passed kind of unfair judgment on him as well, man. He still had 1,000 yards receiving last year. Like everybody's saying he sucked last year or he had such a bad year. Still had 1,000 yard receiving, right? Still was in a new system and he was playing hurt. So you got to take all those things into consideration, man. I think because of who he is and kind of how he carries himself, I think he gets kind of the short end of the stick sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he gets a short end of the stick, but do you think he brings that on himself at all by the attention he grabs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You make your bed, you got to lay in it, and I think he makes his bed sometimes in a bad way, and he has to lay in it. But yeah, I do.
All right. Well, we wanted to thank you for taking your time out of your day to come on here.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me, yo.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right,
Really
folks.
appreciate it.
No doubt.